Folks, I don't know much about some movies that John Woo has directed. I know he directed Hard Target, I think Mission Impossible 2. And honestly, I don't know much about like kung fu movies, Taiwan, but I know John Woo was very popular, and because he also directed Face Off from 1997 with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. John Travolta stars as FBI agent Sean Archer doing the unthinkable to stop the elusive terrorist Castor Troy, Nicolas Cage. Watch the bullets fly and the action explode as Master Action Director John Woo, Broken Arrow, detonates the screen and redefines the action genre like never before. 1997, 138 minutes. And this was definitely a dang good movie. I actually took notes for the first time in a while. Nicolas Cage is a priest who sets up as a priest. You know, he headbangs when they say hallelujah. Like this is, like, huh? Says the F word, grabs a woman, and complete prick. You know, he's got a golden gun. This is a very big gun. Fly the effing plane. I think, is that a James Bond reference? Then the way how he supposedly dies in this movie, it's just like this way where there's like this control panel and this rotating thing, and he gets sent back like 30 feet into some grating. I'm like, yeah, that would pretty much kill anyone, you know. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm thinking, wait, that's it? That's all that they're going to have for Nicolas Cage? Really? Yeah. And then I'm thinking, okay, so where are these performances they're talking about? And then Travolta, of course, you know, we get to see it. You know, it's like Mr. Saturday Night Fever and Battlefield Earth, so I'm surprised to see him in here. And I'm like, okay, so what we're going to get? Are we going to get, like, him feeling tortured or whatever? Like, you know, he feels conflicted about his thoughts. Nope, instead we get Nicolas Cage returning from the dead out of an angle. I'm like, alright, that's very interesting. What's going to happen next? We get an interesting shot. You know, it's like a whole bunch of camera work around when they're doing this. When they're doing this. What is that? Operation, and you know, it's like he awakens, and he sees, and he's wearing Castor's face, and I'm like, he says F you, F you, F you, and then breaks a mirror 3 times. It was almost like a Polyjuice potion from Harry Potter. I'm like, okay, this is definitely well for the Wizarding World, so that was interesting to see. And you know, we got some other notes right here. He gets taken to a prison because they're trying to find out, like, hey, what's going on here? It's like, where is this explosive that's going to take place in Los Angeles? So he has to go into this prison that's not even recognized anywhere to get some information. But then again, Nicolas Cage arises from the dead, almost pretending that he's Jesus, I guess you could say, because there's even a religious imagery at the very end of the movie. And I'll say I love this movie. This was an action-packed, uh, ex- great time. I mean, for crying out loud, you got that intense prison sequence. I'd say roughly in the middle of in the film's middle, where it takes place on an oil rig looking thing, and I'm like, wait, what? So you know, it's like trying to escape. You know, with all the start, because they're wearing these boots that can detect where they are at every single time. You know, with like unique ID chip and everything else, and it's like, hey, how can I get these removed? Oh, you have to go inside a clinic, they'll zap your brain, whatever. And it's like they escape, but there's just a lot of, it's not everything's like shaky cam. I hate that. I really don't like shaky cam. But you can see everything that's going on with the gunfire, the sparks, and everything else. I'm like, good. This is what I want. I want some big, fun set pieces of action. I want to see stuff like this in the middle. Those are usually my favorite. The action scenes in the middle, because that's just when all that chaos occurs. And yeah, and then you know, it's like we're gonna get towards the end. You know, we've got course, what also makes this great is we get to see Castor's posse, I guess is the word. There's one bald guy. We've got Pollux, who looks like every single henchman with a wispy beard, a oblong features, glasses, and a wispy hair. I'm like, yeah, we see this all the time. But said no, we get Nicolas Cage, who's actually performing so gosh darn. We actually get to see his crew and spend time. We actually get to feel who these characters are. And I'm like, you're kind of rooting for them when the FBI comes in, because after they have that face-off right there going on, and of course we have face off, eyes off, nose off, chin off, the face off, and then the completely bald posse member says, "No more drugs for that man." That was funny as heck. Showing us, and so it's like they all say, it's like, hey, of course Cage has to try and convince Joan Allen, who's his wife, saying who he is. It's like saying, hey, blood type, and of course when we first met, it was like he had this rye seed, and trying to find an all-night dentist, and it turns out he was drunk, and so this movie does have a little bit of a sense of humor. It's not just like all brainless, stupid action. There's the characters in here are freaking great. Of course, John Travolta he just plays a freaking menace. I mean, it's like the fact that he's trying to just overtake our protagonist's family life, and just so convincingly acting in such a freaking just awful but fantastic way. You want to see him just get eliminated, at the very end he does, after at this funeral. There's like a lot of intense there's the symbolism. There's like a scene with focusing on the eyes, which are the most expressive part of the body, showing off emotion, things like that. And there's some aforementioned religious iconography, where he's pretending, this Castor guy is pretending that he is Jesus or whatever, a savior, Messiah who comes back, and I'm just like, yeah, because John Woo is a Christian, and it's like, yeah, I can definitely see that in there. It's not like it's over the top. It's there, and it fits the whole, I guess, composition of this movie. Yeah, I mean, as you can tell, I freaking love this one. The climax, the boat race was freaking great. It's like when they're just going through all the waters and everything, and it's just the perfect way. This is just the type of villain you just want to see just gets away from probably over 100 rounds of bullets. He's a complete narcissist. He doesn't, like I said, he doesn't care about anyone himself. With the golden guns and everything else, and it takes a lot of people to stop this man. I would say he's probably definitely in the top of easily 50 action movie villains of all time. You're just like, just get this guy and just eliminate him. It's like, please, he's just the person that just needs to just go the heck away. And he does, and he dies, but only after a truly long just action extravaganza. It's done so well. Oh yeah, it's orgasmic, actually. Yeah, most of this movie is freaking fantastic. It's like, I thought that I'm guessing would have been like with the face off, we would have gotten maybe a little bit more like face jokes or something like that. I mean, it's like, there's a couple, and that's fine. I was thinking maybe we were in a little bit more of a comedy, or these two like kind of facing each other, and it's part of the fun, and they do, but maybe I thought it would be more like a little bit more medical ethics, I guess, but no. We're getting a hardcore trailblazing action movie right here. It's freaking great. John Travolta plays the villain really gosh darn well. and also as himself in the beginning, and Nicolas Cage is like just the duality of these two. I just enjoy so dang much. Like these two actually got to understand like certain gestures and I guess continents of both of them, and I'm like, yeah, I like that. I like to see, they spent 2 weeks getting to know getting to know each other, understanding and things like that. John Woo got full creative control over this movie, and it really does work intensely well in here. And with a budget of $80 million, it works really well. There's also the what else was it? This was original. They said, hey, get rid of the slash right here because they otherwise that would have been like a hockey movie, and I'm like, okay, yeah. So maybe I guess some things that people wouldn't like is like it's like, oh, he survives all these action scenarios that otherwise would have eliminated any other one, and like in the explosions, the slow mo, it's kind of like the Matrix before the Matrix. I'm like, yeah, but and it's like, yeah, that's always going to happen, but this is truly coming from a master who knows his craft. So you're here for the ride. You're here for the truly great performances of the two of them, and it's just so gosh darn good. Music is intense. I mean, there's even a scene where a kid is listening to classical music or kind of operatic-ish ballady while there's a whole bunch of intense gunfire going on, and just here's this 6-year-old child just listening to some music. Yeah, he's not going to be scarred for life. No. But anyway, that's irrelevant. Freaking just fantastic. It's got some meme-worthy moments, especially with the face-off, with the pause, with the complete bald villain and Nicolas Cage. So yeah, if you want a freaking great, fantastic movie, Face Off.